And welcome back to Let's Play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Last time we entered Twilight Town after finishing up one favor, and this time we're heading into the forest part. Two observations to note is, you can actually go back at this point and go to the shop if you're low on items. I would actually recommend doing so just because, it's good to have plenty of items, to be honest. Because before too long, we won't actually have partners to rely on. Oh yeah, by the way, Crazy Daisies, they only have 7 HP, so they did get nerfed slightly from the original game. They had 8. But then again, they were also fought in, a tougher area. Also, the Peach is from staying at the inn. You get a complimentary item for doing so, so I would recommend doing that, actually. It's not a great item, but it's good for cooking, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so squeeze through here, and as I said last time... Wow, I have way too many items. Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot for you, but it actually is good for cooking. This is an earthquake, which is very important for something later on. But again, Crazy Daisies only have 7 HP in this game, making them a little bit easier to deal with. Not super easy to deal with, mind you, but easier to deal with. So let's tackle them. There's also another variant, which was introduced in Paper Mario, called the Amazy Daisy, if I'm not mistaken. It was in the original. It might actually only be in this one, I don't remember. Yeah, I stocked up on Thunder Rages at the shop. Also, the Ice Storm was from getting 20 points at the store. So, yeah, lots of stuff to cover. Also, before too long, you'll actually lose the ability to backtrack. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. One problem with these guys is they do tend to run if you get them down to low health. So you actually want to deal with them as quickly as possible. But it's also an okay strategy to just deal like a lot of damage and then just let them run if you're not concerned about star points. Also, as alluded to last time, this is actually the hardest area in terms of speedruns in a lot of ways because it's actually very narrow. This whole path is very narrow and there are a lot of enemies, and that was actually a waste of FP. But it's actually very difficult dodging enemies here, and there are apparently complicated setups even just for dodging the enemies in this one area because of how annoying it is to dodge all the daisies and stuff in such a narrow little pathway. So yeah, you don't want to actually get into battles because... Actually, there are 2 reasons in speedruns. One, you don't want to fight anything that you don't have to because it wastes time in a run that's already like several hours. 2, you actually have to do really careful star point management. If you're not careful, level ups might come at the wrong time, so it's actually very important to have star points at certain spots, basically. And here's our good old friend, the hammer throw, if I can find it, the badge menu. Z sorts, I never actually mentioned that. So we leveled up BP last time, so we might as well level up something. Also, I don't get why HP plus P is so much more than the regular. That doesn't make sense. Well, I guess it kind of does because you can't level up a partner's health normally. So yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's a little bit weird. Might as well go power bounce. Why the heck not? I'm finding everything for levels. You don't really need levels per se, but it's always good to have them. I accidentally did the wrong thing. Actually no, that guy has 4 HP. What am I thinking? Actually, a better strategy would be to take out Daisy before it runs. So, we're heading to the Creepy Steeple, which is... Also, I have no audio, so that's why I can't block that, because it's basically dependent on an audio cue, and I don't have audio. So, I'm not expecting to block many of the Daisy's attacks. Oh yeah, Crazy Daisies were in Paper Mario, the original. Because I remember fighting one in the original. So dodge that and block that. Ouch. Also, again, enemies will take 1 HP damage whenever they unfreeze, case in point. So that was a very easy fight. And this is the best modifier you can possibly get, actually. The only other best modifier would be getting an attack boost when you're about to do a power bounce. But that's actually really good to get a boosted star point. I think it doubles. Consistently doubles. So if you basically get into a boss fight, and Marley doubles your star points, you get a good 20 normally, so that's boosted up to potentially 40. And I've had battles where I've gotten 60 star points from that. Actually, no, that was recorded. That was against one of the bosses in the first Let's Play. Yeah, I actually did get that. So we can ground pound here, and we can push this rock. And this actually moves the rock in the foreground. Nice little environmental puzzle. And we're switching to Yoshi because of reasons. Not just because of mobility, but because clefts. I don't think you can actually damage clefts with a hammer very feasibly. Yeah, see, it only does 1, which isn't great. But we can actually use the same strategy from the arena to basically take out these clefts. A lot faster, except we have no FP now. Okay, that's a little bit of a predicament. I don't think Koops can do damage because he does 3 instead of the traditional 4 that most partners do on their first level. Yoshi does 5 actually. Does 5 damage. But it's like Bow, where you only get 1 hit per, 1 HP per attack, so it's not great. So, okay, so that's 3 levels, 3 levels, 3 levels, I think. So HP would be next. Once we get to like 50 HP, I'm probably gonna break this a little bit once we get past that level cycle, because at that point, you know, we'll have plenty of HP for the rest of the game. Actually, normally I end with closer to 70. 50 is the original, where I'd like to have 50 HP by the end. This is Creepy Steeple, that nasty monster's place. This place wakes me out. Look, Gonzalez, let's just get the crystal star and get out of here fast. I am an idiot. I forgot that we didn't have to do that. Because, well, we just got a level. Also, rolling is not as fast as Yoshi, but it is faster than normal walking. So, it's kind of good and kind of bad at the same time. It's like, that was a really bad way to describe it, I know. Wow, that stained glass window looks like a monster, alright. So we definitely have a secret passageway up here, which goes to a room with a bunch of goodies. Shine Sprite, which we can't even use because we're at as high of a level as we can. Cookbook, we should probably give that to Zesty. And Ice Smash, which will come in handy for the next chapter, but for this chapter, it's just pretty much useless. It's totally useless. We're definitely in the right place based on the creepy monolith of the crystal star. Drop down here, and we have a secret room. And a secret passageway within the secret room, which feels very redundant. Okay, this is just a little bit trippy. Over here is the flower saver, which costs a ton of BP. Depending on your playstyle though, it's not a bad idea. Frankly, I never use Power Bounce, I never use Strength Stomp, a lot of people do. So I'm actually going to opt for Flower Saver. For some reason, I just don't use Power Bounce, which is just strange, which is why I can't speedrun the game, because pretty much every strategy in this game involves Power Bouncing. This door is locked from the inside. Maybe we'll get to see what's inside there later, though. And one chapter late, we get booze. Yeah, in the original, we actually had booze in chapter 3, but in this game, they're in chapter 4. Gets 200. And he'll give you an Ultra Shroom, which is more than worth it. Again, make sure you answer that correctly, because you want the Ultra Shroom. Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go back and deal with Zesty now, rather than later. Say yes here. Oh, shoot. You say no, actually. Promise? Come out, guys. And then a ton... All those 200 boos that they mentioned, yeah, here they are. And they actually try to mess with us. Luckily for us, we have the Super Hammer. So once they start clinging on to you, just repeatedly Super Hammer, until you get a cutscene. AKA this cutscene. Hey, you said you'd be nice. Let's get him. So they turn into a optional boss, known as the Atomic Boo. It's basically a big boo. I don't know why they call that. Also, Crazy Daisies actually go all the way back to Yoshi's Island, so they're one of the older enemies. Yeah, so they're not original to Paper Mario. That's what I'm trying to say. That's an Atomic Boo. It's a giant boo made up of smaller boos. 40, 4, 0. They'll try to smush us. It can also split up and send hundreds of boos at us. When we attack, we might get so scared that we get confused or can't move. Okay, so this is the attack where he sends boos at us. So they will basically do that and you have to block. It's not that hard. It's not based on audio, so I can do it pretty easily. It's a visual cue. I prefer visual cues to audio cues under the circumstances. Also, another reason why I'm not like super keen on having power bounce is because you have multi-bonk, which is the same thing as power bounce. So it's like, it's not super imperative that we have power bounce. Unlike Huff and Puff, which you may be thinking, hey, this is kind of a similar thing. He does not split into smaller boos that we have to take out individually, so this is a completely different fight. His way of attacking is kind of similar, but yeah, it's totally different. So he'll hide his face, and he'll do like a mega attack. Oh shoot, I did the wrong thing. I messed that up. So that can paralyze you. In fact, it confused Goombella. Swapping out partners wouldn't be a bad idea, but except we were very close to being done anyway. So sometimes they will basically disobey orders and like attack Mario. And we super guard that. That's not an easy super guard if you ask me. Boos also make characters invisible, so boos are actually neutral. Because they can do that to the enemies too, which sucks. But again, you want to do this... Okay, this is a weird thing in this game. In most RPGs, you want to do optional bosses towards the end, once you're at a really high level. In this game, it's actually better to do optional bosses at the earliest possible time, because you get the most star points out of it. So these are basically bats. So again, it's much easier to just tattle swoopers here rather than losing all the battles in Blitz Pit and basically having to fight your way back up after basically just doing that. So again, if you want to tattle swoopers, this is the way to do it. They're more annoying than anything. They're sort of like fuzzies, except their timing is a little bit slower. No wait, it's a different bat that drains health. I think there is a bat though that does drain health, I just thought it was earlier. So the reason, well, part of the reason that is, I stocked up on Thunder Rages was so we can deal with swoopers more easily, but since we got them down so low, we might as well just use an Ice Storm. Voila. Yeah, see, this game's not that hard, actually. It's pretty straightforward, really. And Marley can actually also increase your coins. So again, she works basically identically to in Paper Mario. Not that we need coins at this point. Also, I think this chapter might be the last opportunity to donate to Lumpy, so keep that in mind if you so desire to donate to Lumpy. Again, I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the last chance. And then he'll disappear in the next chapter, so you actually have to wait to pick up the coins until the next chapter. And I think it's also a timed event, where if you don't pick up the coins in time, you actually lose out. So I managed to guard that time. We're making good time. Chapter 4 is pretty short, and it gets even shorter with editing. And this is going to be the most cut-heavy chapter, literally until probably chapter 7. Because 5 is... I might have to do some cutting in chapter 5, because there's one spot that kind of sucks for backtracking, but this chapter is like the king of backtracking. It's not a bad chapter, it just has a lot of backtracking, especially towards the latter half. That's a boo, it's everyone's favorite ghost. Well, everyone. Well, almost everyone. Most everyone. They can turn invisible, never you mind. Basically, they're boos. Just plain simple. Also, Quake Hammer doesn't work on them because they're floating. It makes so much more sense. I remember watching a Let's Play recently, and they were very confused by levitation Pokemon. They didn't understand how levitate works. So again, that's the thing in this game. If you see something not touching the ground, then you can't hit it. It's so much more simple than Pokemon, where like Weezing has levitate, but Magneton does not have levitate. Even though Magneton is also clearly floating. Yeah, I think Magneton is actually super weak to ground, which is weird because it is floating. Luckily he didn't use the Fire Flower, which would attack 2 partners, which is not good. And finish off this boo. I'm not playing the best here, mostly because I'm messing up super guards. I should just be going for regular guards, to be honest. But we're making good time through this chapter. Okay, so our goal is to get over there, to that door. So I'll fight the boos off screen, and also we have to go through this upper hallway, which has a bunch of swoops. I think I'll fight those off screen as well. At least I'll fight these bomb boos first. And I'm gonna go back and heal, so we're gonna actually go and save, probably. But in any case, thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Paper Mario: The 1000-Year Door.